motion to have Advent Computer install a new network switch in the Public Works building for the surveillance system, and I believe, actually for the Ron, our road foreman's computer printer and stuff, they can't reach the server from out there because the switch that was installed apparently by Dagastino is so old that the company hasn't existed in seven or so years, but I question whether or not it was installed or it was recycled and it was the old one that was in there. But over the election day, Advent came in and put in our new firewall, our new, and now that switch is so old that he referenced it, that it was like an Atari game system from the 80s trying to clock to a Xbox of today.
Hell of a deal.
So it doesn't cost anything for the installation, it doesn't cost anything for the switch, but for them to monitor that building too, it's gonna be an additional $35 a month on our contract.
Seems reasonable.
It does. I mean, it's gonna keep Ron's computer safe and anything out there. And our surveillance systems will be into our firewall.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Larry made the motion,
I'll second it.
Carl made a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, discussion and motion to accept a quote for $8,500 from McRow for the underground fuel tank repairs / updates. Oh my God, there's so much stuff.
You were involved with the school tank, weren't you?
Yeah,
In this problem.
So this is Larry's item.
it's my item, my headache, but, our controller that's in the garage that measures, releases, levels of fuel in the tank. There's a requirement by the DEP that you report this information monthly, you gotta turn in an annual report. The stuff we have out there is outdated, there's been no improvement on it. DEP has advanced the responsibility to the tank owners, as far as reporting is concerned. They try to work on it the last couple of weeks, and were unsuccessful in getting it done. So that's in essence what we have to do.
Was there a leak from that tank or anything?
We did the site assessment with a company called Letterly. We applied for the funding from the underground storage tank insurance fund. We were successful in getting the money. We barely made it by, I think, a day to have it in by the term if you're obligated to, if you want to request. So we got that money paid, and that basically paid all the costs for the site assessment,
No,
which is like $8,300 at the time.
that,
The report that we sent over to the DEP was, in essence, a water leak, because that occurred in the beginning of April when we had all that rain. Okay, so that problem solved. Tank was back in commission, but we're not getting the readings as far as levels in the tank, fueling issues, or filling issues, excuse me, and the reporting that's required by the DEP to provide that monthly report. So in essence, is we have to upgrade the equipment.
I have two questions.
Sure.
So, you said something about the conduit wire and the thing, and then there was some talk that the road crew was gonna do some of it to save.
I don't know whether it was an existing situation, there's a conduit on, I don't know which way north is.
Something about the pipe underneath that the wires run through. Were you saying that?
There's
We're
two
doing that
pipes
ourselves.
running, there's two wires running in that conduit.
Yeah.
We found the conduit, I actually hit it, but I
Is
didn't
that
break
on
the
this?
wire.
Is that on this quote and is coming
We're
off of
doing
this
it
quote, or it's already
ourselves.
off of this quote?
Right. What happened in the original installation, they ran a power and a communication line cable in the same conduit. When you do that, the power interferes with the
Reading.
control wire readings. That's
Yeah.
part of the problem. And nothing was ever done to correct it, cause they did it manually as far as the reporting is concerned by using that stick, okay, that dipstick that they use. But that just complicated the situation. It goes back to what Kenny and I have said, you gotta do periodic maintenance and upgrade your equipment. If
Yeah,
you
I
don't
just,
do that,
I didn't
that's
know
where
if that, the road crew participating in it was an afterthought.
No,
this, or it
we
was
noticed that
aligned that
Tuesday
way all the way
morning.
along.
and we talked about it, and we're gonna repair it in-house.
I also noticed that I had the actual cost is 8766.61, so
I
we're gonna
thought
have
we
to change
negotiated
that.
a couple hundred off of them.
This has 8766.61.
Yeah, that's the, and I saw you Tuesday morning, that's what he did. We'll see if we can squeeze him for a couple hundred bucks.
I'm saying you need this motion
Do we need
changed
it
to be the
changed?
87 or,
I don't like to change, I don't like screwing around with your agenda, so I figured I'll figure a way to get you to 1200.
the other thing is just, like, what I saw about the letterly. So the insurance fund, are they
Okay.
gonna send us a check and letterly a check, or they sending I'm so confused by that
But
letterly.
we literally required their price, and I'll use round numbers around, a little over $8,000. We paid them 50% of that amount.
I think it was like
Okay.
5,000.
Yeah, whatever that is, divided by 2. But anyhow, that number, we paid that, and we applied for the insurance fund. There's a $5,000 deductible with the underground storage tank fund, but they paid us the balance of the letterly bill.
So the letterly testing, so the insurance isn't paying for all of that. They're paying like 2,700, basically, the overage of the 5,000.
Well, whatever 8,300 divided by 2 is, they're paying that, okay? And they're paying, they're satisfying all but, the original payment we did the
Which was
letterly.
the 5,000.
Yeah, it's like 43 or something, you know? Yeah, they
Okay.
paid the insurance fund.
So the 5,000 is a deductible and then half of the leftover of the 83? That's what
No,
I'm
they'll
so
pay
confused.
everything beyond the $5,000 for whatever that invoice was, and that's paid letterly. In the paperwork, I think we got it today, as a matter of fact.
And maybe
We
that's why
just
I'm
sign
confused. I
off
haven't
and they
seen
go
the-
to the
fine.
fund directly, is what
Okay.
happens. We're done with that.
Maybe that's why I'm confused. I hadn't seen the final. I was so
We
confused by
just
the
got it this
87
afternoon,
and
to be
then,
honest with you.
yeah, the 5,000 that we already
So we
paid
should-
and whether or not we were getting any of that back, but that's a deductible.
Yeah, it was an 8,500 round numbers, 8,500 bill. We're paying 4,500, which we already paid, so we're okay.
So we need to change this though up to the estimate.
I'll try to get the $200 out of it.
Well, I'm saying we have to commendly
I don't
approve
know if you're
it
that
for that,
persuasive, who's
us to
gonna-
change it.
I'll get Kenny to talk, we'll rough him up a little bit in the
So,
background.
I have a thing too though. Can we look around in the meantime? Like, I'm not opposed to doing this. Is there anybody else that works on fuel storage
There
tanks?
are
that's
very
looking for-
few.
My goodness,
The problem is you have to be credentialed up to do DEP work.
I
okay?
get it.
And I did look after I got talked to him on Friday.
I can't tell you how much
You're the
money I
boss.
voted on McRose since I've got on this
Good.
board in 2022. And it seems like, yeah, that tank's turning
That
into
gets
like the
worse.
money pit out there.
Well, to be honest with you, the tank's an excellent tank. We have verification by the DEP guy that was our guy.
It should be an excellent, I'm telling you, I voted on $35,000 on that tank since I
That
sat on
tank's
this board.
$100,000.
I get it.
Well, just think of the bargain you're getting this now, so,
I'm not saying the tank's not worth fixing and maintaining and stuff, I'm questioning that McRow, every time they come to do a job we approve, they find something else.
Well, here's what happened, that tank, that meter thing is 30 years old.
I get it.
And it's been working, but when they shut it down, whenever they started working, it did something to it. It wouldn't come back on.
it's
I
a
actually
problem.
think it might have had just unforeseen problems before, now that you say that, cause the alarms were going off in 2022 for no reason.
I think
Sensing,
running,
even down to, we drained the tank and tested with letterly, because that alarm system was telling us there was an issue.
That,
So we did all that based on a.
he's
an alarm
just as
system that told us.
aggravated as we are, because it did work somewhat, but we had to go stick it. But
Yeah.
whenever they shut it off back in May, when he went to put it back on, it will not go on.
I always get angry when I tell someone you owe me $8,000 too. It's like, I hate doing this to you. You owe me another 8.
Are we fixing this to 87?
Yeah, let's do it in, you know, hey, if you can get them to lower the price, I'm all for that. But just in case,
For the motion.
Suzanne's suggesting the motion should say no, you know.
I'd use $8,800, a motion to
No more than $8,800.
If it comes down, it comes down. You'll get it.
But at least if it doesn't come down, it doesn't hold
We'll
up the
take
job.
the discount.
Buy pizza.
Okay,
I think that
so
was
Suzanne's making the
the hour
motion,
in communication.
to accept the quote for McRow underground fuel tank repairs and updates not to exceed $8,800.
Right.
Thank you.
And,
John
I believe
seconded.
John just seconded.